Welcome to another episode of UA's Double Overtime, where we've been on a little bit of a hiatus, but we are back. Here I am, Connor Delaney, with my co-host.
I'm Michael Wolf. Yeah, it's been like 3 weeks, Connor.
It's been like 3 weeks.
I haven't even seen you since then. You don't call me, you don't text me, nothing. I don't even know what to make of it. Are we still friends? Are we co-hosts? What's going on?
It's a nice suit.
Thank you.
The gray looks
new
good.
Suit.
The gray looks good. But yeah, we have a filled show for you. We're starting with some NCAA, get into the NBA, take a quick break, go to MLB, and then some NFL offseason. First off, let's start with the NCAA tournament, Final Four. How's your bracket looking so far? Is it completely shot, or?
Well, being that I already had Albany in winning the championships, it's not looking too good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have FGCU going all the way to the Sweet 16.
No,
I didn't have Wichita State going to the Final Four.
Yeah,
so my bracket is completely done, along with a lot of other people's in America. So.
I have Louisville and Michigan in the final, but I don't know. Let's go to the first matchup, Louisville versus Wichita State. Who do you think? What's the better matchup there? What team do you think comes out on top?
Well, Wichita State, they made a great run, getting into the Final Four. This is the end for them though. Louisville, they're playing good basketball, even without Kevin Ware now, but they're still playing great basketball. They're still a powerhouse. Wichita's not going to be able to handle it. I don't know. I mean, what do you have to say about the game?
I'm glad you mentioned Kevin Ware, too. Obviously, the injury, we all saw it. Compound fracture, absolutely gruesome
For sure.
Injury there, freak injury. Do you think that's more of a spark, or does that hurt Louisville to have a player of his caliber be out?
Well, I think it's definitely.
It seemed like it sparked him against Duke because they blew Duke right out of the water.
I would have to say that it's a little bit of both. I mean, with the spark, each player, they're playing for him now, too.
Sure.
That was his last basketball game he'll ever play in. And they all know that. He was a teammate, a friend. On teams like that, he's a brother.
Mm-hmm.
So, for them, they're playing with a lot of heart. It's a real deep cause now. Also, it's, they're hurting because of it, because now they're losing a great player in Kevin Ware, who was playing his best basketball during this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, no, he definitely heated up towards the Final Four there and started off that game good, got that steal, that and one, and then that injury happened. As far as the matchup goes, I think Louisville is just too strong. Rick Pitino has the experience, being there in the Final Four. Wichita State, I just don't think he's going to be able to hang with Louisville's pressure. Their pressure, their full court pressure, they don't have the guards capable. They ate up Duke's guards. So, what does that tell you? But what about Syracuse, Michigan, getting into that matchup? A little bit of a more intriguing matchup as far as even goes. I'd say both 4 seeds. They both upset. Some good teams get into the Final Four. What do you think of that matchup?
Well, I'm a Syracuse fan. I'm a Michigan fan. I'm going to have to go with Michigan. I think at the moment they're playing better basketball. I think their trip in was a little bit tougher than Syracuse's, and all around, they're just playing better basketball. I
think Syracuse, with that zone defense they're playing, this is the best team they've had since that 03 season. Minus about 3 years ago when Arenzi Anawaku, they had them, and they won the Big East tournament, got a 1 seed, but he got hurt, unfortunately, in the Big East tournament, so he wasn't 100%. But this team, when healthy in that zone, it's swarming. And a lot of Michigan's offense is based off of top-of-the-key pick and rolls for Trey Burke. Against the zone, you're not going to see that as much. Sure, the three-point and offense rebounds will be that much more open, but Michigan's going to have to come up with a game plan where if he's going to come off that high ball screen, the roll's not going to be there because you're going to have guys right on the basket and Keita, Christmas. But I just think with both Syracuse and Louisville, I go with Big East. I think it's going to be a Big East final. Syracuse and Louisville, their defense creates offense. The pressure, they get a lot of points off turnovers. They get a lot of points just frustrating their opponent. So I think that it's a no-brainer. You think Louisville, Michigan's going to be the final?
Well, that is what I'm hoping for. But either way, whether it's Syracuse or Michigan against Louisville, who do you think is going to take it, Louisville or coming from the other side of the bracket?
I think I have Louisville winning it. I'd love to see Cuse. Obviously, hometown team that I picked against them. I picked Indiana. It was a tough pick for me. I kind of regret that. You can't really pick against your team like that. So lesson learned. But I'd like to see Cuse and Louisville, 2 Big East teams, being Syracuse's last season in the Big East. So that'd be like a good way out for them if they could go to the national championship and beat Louisville. It's kind of like defeating the Big East, if you will, and then going into a new conference.
Yeah, that's a good point. For me, whether it's Michigan or Syracuse going into it, I hope either of them beats Louisville.
Yeah.
To be honest. So let's jump into some professional basketball with the NBA. Let's start talking about the NBA Heat and their win streak.
Yeah.
So ending at 27, 6 short of the 1972 Los Angeles Lakers records of 33.
And that's the highlight of the Chicago Bulls season right there. I mean, they were all celebrating everything, but 27 games is ridiculous, and that's an astronomical mark for a team to hit during a season. I mean, you can't. People are knocking them and saying, "Oh, what's wrong with the Heat?" Like 27 games. I mean,
with LeBron James playing phenomenal basketball, Dwayne Wade's finally back playing up to his usual self. I mean, to be honest, once they hit 27, I didn't think they were going to get all the way to 27, but once they did, I thought they were going to beat Will Chamberlain and Jerry West's record of 33 games.
Definitely looked to be that way, but Chicago just got the better of them. But this gives them a chance. They clinched home court throughout the playoffs. Good chance, like as you saw against the Knicks the other night. Chalmers, D. Wade, and LeBron all sat out. They sat out against the Spurs, and they still won. They're still competing. Knicks pulled away late in that game the other night, but Melo dropping 50 points is 90 points in the last 2 games. Is Melo making a little push for the giving LeBron some competition for MVP right now?
I think he's giving him competition for MVP, but I don't think that's what he's going for. I think he's trying to spark his own team right before the playoffs.
Trying to stay hot before the playoffs. 10 straight wins for the Knicks.
Yep, 10 straight. That's the current longest winning streak in the NBA.
Yeah.
Possibly contending against the 1972 LA Lakers record of 33. Who knows? Maybe going into the next season with that. But
Melo at 50 points, none of those points which came inside the paint. So that just shows what type of just pure scorer he is. I mean, and he's great in the paint. That's not to take away from his paint game. He can go in the paint and bang with the best of them. But for him to score all 50 of his points that night against a Miami defense, sure, LeBron and Wade were out, but it's still a phenomenal defense. And
he was 7 for 10 from 3.
7 for 10 for threes. I mean,
he's shooting efficiently. And without shooting in the paint, he's shooting very efficiently. I think he was 17 for 28 that game.
Well, especially he's been struggling.
Yeah, previously, yes.
In March, he was struggling as far as his three-point percentage going. I think, this month so far he's shooting like.
And what does that show about the Knicks also? Carmelo's struggling, no Tyson Chandler, and they were still on that win streak. And now with Tyson Chandler back, Carmelo's playing like Carmelo, they have an excellent chance of being a real contender and facing the Miami Heat in the conference finals.
I mean, they've beaten the Heat 3 times this season. 3 of the losses that the Heat, have, which they have like 11, 12. 3 of them have come to the hands of the New York Knicks.
But one of them was without LeBron James.
Sure, it was without them, but you're still beating the team that you're going to most likely face in the Eastern Conference Finals if permitted both teams get there.
That's weeks away from now, though. So that's when LeBron is going to be.
Do you think the Knicks have a legitimate shot, if it comes to it in the Eastern Conference, to compete and dethrone the Miami Heat?
I think so. We discussed it before. I said the best defensive matchup against LeBron James is Carmelo, and then having Tyson Chandler in the paint.
No ideal matchup for LeBron James.
Exactly, but that's the best matchup you could possibly have in the NBA. There's no other NBA team that could really compete with that. So when the Knicks get there, that's going to be the best shot. The LA Lakers, they retired Shaquille O'Neal's number the other night, number 34. Congratulations, Shaquille O'Neal. It's just his next step into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. That little fun fact, only 2 other Knicks, Patrick Ewing and Bernard King, after scoring 50 points, have gone out the following night and put up 40 points. Bernard King did it 50 points back-to-back games in the 83-84 season. So that's good. That's some good company for Carmelo, I think. But that wraps up our first half. Stay tuned, and we'll see you the second half.
What the f*** is far from it?
What the f*** is far from it?
By the way, anyone who wants candy can take candy.
What the hell are you doing? You guys are weird.
Hello and welcome back to the second half of UA's Double Overtime. We're going to start with opening day was just the other day. I was missing the top 10 was missing baseball highlights. I'm glad to see some some web gems back in the top 10 place. So, what did you think as far as opening day? Any particular teams that you thought surprised you? Or
well, I personally got to go to Yankees Opening Day against the Boston Red Sox with our executive producer Spencer Pesce. # sorry Connor. It was kind of upsetting to see the Yankees lose 8-2 opening day. CC Sabathia pitching.
Yeah, that's terrible.
You know, he started off with in just 5.
I wasn't rooting for the Red Sox or anything.
5 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs. That's not the CC Sabathia we know, especially on opening day. You know, he usually comes out and throws that gem to start the season off right.
I mean, you took it there. I mean, obviously I'll stay there with talking the Yankees. I feel like this year they're going to be that team that's on the outside looking in, as far as like trying to keep up with the pace of the AL East. I mean, you got the Orioles. The Red Sox are 2-0 right now, beating them twice. I mean, obviously, still 160 games left, but
well, it definitely depends on the runs they go on.
Kuroda going down there
and how healthy they could stay. Exactly. With Kuroda getting hurt, he had a right hand contusion in the second inning.
Hopefully they can just pull through the month and then get Teixeira and Granderson back. I mean, that's going to be huge for them. But just in the meantime, to try to hang on. Vernon Wells, obviously, he stepped up. I mean, didn't get the win, but his
name's Vernon, but it's a classic Yankee diss towards Vernon Wells. I guess you've never been to Yankee Stadium, but with Vernon's 3-run home run in the bottom of the 8th last night, I mean, it helped, but it wasn't enough. You know, they were already in a deep enough deficit where they shouldn't have been. You know, with the Red Sox, I mean, people want to say that the Red Sox are a team that are going to be coming back this year. I disagree. I still do not believe that they're a high caliber team. I think the Yankees should have been able to compete with them, especially on opening day at Yankee Stadium for their fans at the very minimum.
I think. I mean, you look at it. You had Bryce Harper coming out hot and 2 solo blasts. I mean, Darvish took a perfect game into the 9th inning. Second guy since Armando Galarraga for the Detroit Tigers to blow a perfect game in the 9th inning.
You can't say he blew it. You know, the umpire blew that game.
True. No, the call at first base. You're absolutely correct in saying that. But no, that Darvish, the ball went right through his legs, up the middle, center field for the base hit there. I felt bad. I mean,
I feel bad also, but you know what? If I was Darvish and I was going to have a perfect game ruined, I'd rather ruin it myself than have the ball go through the shortstop's legs or the third baseman's legs. I'd rather it be myself. I'd rather it all be on me, so I would never think, what if.
You give that teammate the silent treatment for,
exactly,
for a little bit
for the rest of his life, pretty much.
Give me, obviously we're only a few games in here, but give me some bold predictions right now as far as who do you got for World Series matchup, your AL/NL MVPs, AL/NL Cy Young. Like, what do you think?
World Series, I'm going to have to go with, the Nationals, with Steven Strasburg.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper's going to be playing exceptionally well this season. You could tell already. So I have them in for the National League side. And for the American League side, I'm going to have to go with the New York Yankees. No, I can't even say that this year. If I had to go with anyone this year, honestly, it could be Tampa Bay. I want to see Tampa Bay do very good in the AL East, mostly because I want to see Toronto be taken down. Mm-hmm. Also, they have James Shields. I think Evan Longoria is going to be back to being an MVP caliber player. And I think they have what they need to take it to the World Series.
Yeah, David Price
at least to the pennant, and maybe Detroit Tigers again, because they really, I can't see them losing any steam.
I have to go with, I agree with you in NL Nationals, but I have to think in the AL Detroit Tigers. I think that lineup's too strong. I think pitching rotation, I mean, if you can get in the postseason, throw Verlander, every 3 games, that's almost a guaranteed win.
Yep.
Talk to me about MVP and Cy Young.
MVP? I'm not even going to tell you my AL NL MVP. I think it's just going to be straightforward with Mike Trout winning the MLB's MVP.
It's all around. I think Trout will win as well. I mean, if he has anything like the season, as long as he doesn't have a sophomore slump. I
think he's going to score more. He had 149 runs last year. I think he's going to have more than that this year. With a 304 batting average, his rookie season, I mean, that's just amazing. So for him to come out this season, he's ready. He's been through all these games before. He's been through opening day. He's been through the end of the season. So, I mean, I think he's ready to show that he's going to be a high-caliber player for a long time in this Major League Baseball.
And Cy Young, I feel like AL's, you have to say Verlander just because of how much he got paid.
Verlander, and I don't think he's going to have as quality a season as he has in the past, but I want to give it to James Shields. I
broke it down, math-wise. He's making $4,000 per pitch. Every time he throws the ball, he's making $4,000. Ball, strike, home run, wild pitch, he's making $4,000 per pitch.
Throw me in the batting cages, I'll pay for my tuition right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Give me one inning. Give me 1 inning. And then I think in the NL, you got to either go Strasburg or Clayton Kershaw. Clayton Kershaw is, he's right there. Strasburg is the inning limitation, which they're saying there.
I think he's more proven himself, Strasburg, than Kershaw has.
Kershaw already has a Cy Young.
I know, but for the last season at least, and coming into now.
No, he's definitely he has the filthiest stuff. I mean, as far
for sure.
As,
that's without a doubt. And then as long as they don't limit Strasburg's pitching like they did last season,
as long as they take the cap away, which they're saying they're going to. I mean, we'll see.
You have to wait to find out.
What
who's your sleeper team this year?
I go in the AL, the Seattle Mariners. I think Michael Moore's coming in from the Nationals. He's already off to a hot start. He had 9 home runs in the preseason. He has 3 home runs already. He had 2 the other night. They have a good lineup. King Felix there is, he's been a stud in Seattle. It's too bad he's still in Seattle pitching there. He's not on a big, big market team. But
New York Yankees almost picked him up.
I would love for the New York Yankees to pick up Felix Hernandez. Nothing would make me happier. But he's got a big contract out there in Seattle. And for the NL, I got to go Chicago Cubs. Anthony Rizzo there. They got Jeff Samardzija pitched a gem the other day, going 8 innings strong, 9 strikeouts. Theo Epstein's their GM now. They're making some moves. So I think the Cubs are a sleeper team as far as the NL goes.
I definitely agree with everything you say with the NL Cubs. Chicago Cubs, I definitely agree with that. But with the AL for sleeper, I will have to go with the New York Yankees this season. Everyone's putting them in the dumps right from the start.
I feel like you can't.
You can, though. You got to start at some point where they're not going to be that high-caliber team where you expect them to be in the World Series anymore.
But they have the expectations just by their fans and the media. I mean, if someone gets hurt or someone's missing plays, I mean, their headlines, New York Times, in front of the paper, Boo A-Rod or New York Stankies.
I agree, but everyone's already saying that they're not even going to make the playoffs this year. So for everyone to go that route and say they're not going to make the playoffs, I think they're going to be the sleeper. I think they're going to be in it. They just have to stay healthy and make those runs, and they could do what they always do. So
no, that's fair. That's fair. Let's jump into the NFL real quick. The offseason, some free agency. Best free agent signing thus far.
I'm going to tell you 2. I'm going to go with two receivers.
Wes Welker and Mike Wallace?
And Wes Welker. Yeah. Mike Wallace to Miami,
what's it like to be Wes Welker, to go from Tom Brady throwing the ball to Peyton Manning? Not a bad gig there.
What's it like to go from that to that? Absolutely nothing. I mean,
just put the ball, just close your eyes, put your hands out.
Yeah, it's going to be right wherever you put your hands.
And that's huge for the Broncos. They get a possession receiver in there like Wes Welker. I mean, you have
Demarius Thomas.
Yeah, your downfield receiver.
Brandon Stokely.
But then you have a guy like Wes Welker. Peyton needs that type of
their
possession receiver.
Their offense is going to be hard to contain. I mean, they already have one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history, and now you're going to add an amazing slot receiver with Wes Welker. I mean, it's going to be really hard to beat.
What do you think as far as overall as a team, who's made the best moves in the right direction for their team going forward for the 2013 season?
Within free agents or trading also?
Yeah, just overall everything as far as free agents, the draft coming up, to get picks.
There's a lot. There's a lot of teams that made some good moves. I mean, Seahawks basically got Percy Harvin as a steal, and along with Russell Wilson and beast mode. That offense is going to be uncontrollable. The Chiefs picked up Alex Smith. They needed to get a quarterback. Alex Smith got a starting role back on the team. I don't know. I think a lot. This season, especially, a lot of teams made a lot of moves.
I think
this was one of the most.
The runner-up there, the 49ers, made the most impact on their lineup. I mean, you go get a guy like Anquan Bolden, who was great in the Super Bowl against you.
Against the same team, yeah.
They got Nnamdi Asomugha from Philly, who didn't play so well in Philly. Philly's defense, they run more of a zone structure there. He's more of a lockdown man-to-man type corner. More of a physical, aggressive corner, but that's a huge. In Oakland, he was a shutdown guy. He was right there with Champ Bailey and Revis as far as top guys in the league when it came to one-on-one coverage. So, I mean, that's a huge pickup right there they got the other day. And Glenn Dorsey filling up the middle. So I think 49ers, without a doubt, definitely get back there, if not win it. And the team I think lost the most is the Super Bowl champions, where everyone wants a piece of that championship puzzle. I mean, you got retirement first, Ellerbe going to Miami, Ed Reed going to Houston, which is huge for them. Yeah, exactly. Ray Lewis gone, Anquan Bolden, your best receiver leaving.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think that's a common trend, though, after, you saw the Giants when they won the Super Bowl, a lot of parts start to go other ways. People want to pick away at that, get their slice of the championship pie.
I agree.
But what do you think? You have a real bold prediction as far as the NFL season goes?
A bold prediction? My bold prediction is that I want to see the Seattle Seahawks take it all the way because with just the acquisition of Percy Harvin, that is huge for that team. Now they have that slot receiver who is quick, fast. He's an excellent special teams player. And just adding him to the lineup with that great D.
Great offensive line.
A great running back and a great sophomore quarterback who will be coming in. You saw how Russell Wilson did in the playoffs this year and throughout the season just as a rookie. So I think as a sophomore he could do even better. And now with Percy Harvin.
He doesn't have that competition on the back. He knows he has job security. He's not battling with Matt Flynn.
Yep.
So, I mean, that makes a huge difference.
Speaking of rookie quarterbacks now, who's going to be the better rookie quarterback in the NFL, Matt Barkley or Geno
After watching
Smith?
Barkley's pro day, he looked healthy. He looked good throwing the ball. He made some good completions throwing the ball down the field. The big problem is the arm strength, but I think for a sure thing, I'd go Barkley if I'm in need of a quarterback on draft day.
I would agree. I think he's going to be the Andrew Luck of this draft class. And no?
No. He's not taking any team to the playoffs.
That's very true. I think he's going to, I apologize. I think he's going to be the best quarterback in this draft class.
Fair enough. Yeah, you can't compare last year's class with as far as quarterbacks goes. That was like a freak thing to have 1-2 like that. But that wraps up our second half. Come back. We're going to talk some sports movies, and we're going to our big finish.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho, H to the OV. I used to move snowflakes.
Hi, I'm Zach Horowitz. And I'm Phil Joseph. This is our new show on ATV. It's called Capital Collegiate Sports. For everything UAlbany sports and the whole realm of college sports, this is the show for you.
So if you bleed that purple and gold, or if you're just a fan of the excitement and epicness that college sports bring, then this is a show that you gotta check out.
CS.
Letters, no one could do it better. I check cheddar like a food inspector.
Time. All you see is Connor. All you see is Mike Wolf, but there's a lot of behind-the-scenes work. I would like to give a special shout-out to our assistant producer, unit manager, Andrew Moth. He does a great job. He's always there. He's the reason we look good. He does everything for us. I can't say enough about the kid. So thank you, Andrew. And through you, all things are made.
No!
Welcome back. We're going to start this third segment on best sport movies. MSG on Monday is going to be debating the best sports movies of all time, so we want to beat them to it. Connor, what do you have in store? What's your best sports movie?
I could take the whole show and talk about this. There's so many out there that I mean, Rocky's my favorite of all time. Underdog. Celeste Film, one Best Picture. Phenomenal movie. I have so many. Like He Got Games, one of my favorite. Remember the Titans. There's a plethora out there of good sports movies that anyone can pick from. But what's your take on it?
My favorite sports movie of all time. It's a classic. I believe it came out in 1991.
Field of Dreams?
Not Field of Dreams. It is Rookie of the Year. Henry Rollingardner, a young middle schooler going into the MLB and pitching for the Cubs, bringing them from the last place team and bringing them to the NL pennant, where he lost his stuff and couldn't get them.
You pick a baseball. Why not pick like Major League?
Major League's a great movie, Wesley
Wild
Snipes,
Thing?
but no, it's
Willie
Rookie of the Year.
Mays?
Rookie of the Year competes with all of them.
About Blue Chips?
Blue Chips is good, but Henry Rollingardner, I don't know.
I
for the Cubs.
I've never seen that movie. I'm missing out apparently. I guess.
Don't debate me on it.
I guess
then.
I have my plans for the night. I'm gonna go home and watch that flick. That wraps that up. We're looking forward to see what MSG has in store. Probably can't top that. Here at UA Double Overtime, we go over the top. But let's get right into our big finish here. Mike, buy or sell? Are Red Sox the most improved team this season?
Sell. They're going to be at the bottom of the AL East, possibly at the bottom of the AL in total. I think they're going to be the bottom third team. Definitely sell. Over under, Tyrann Mathieu, drafted before the 4th round.
I have him going in the 4th round, so over.
And I think I have to agree with that.
Yes or no, Tiger Woods wins the Masters.
He's finally back at close to where Tiger was before the whole ordeal. So I believe that he has a very good chance of winning the Masters. I'm going to put him in at winning it. Justin Verlander, is he worth all the money, yes or no?
No one's worth that much money. I mean, $4,000 per pitch, give me a break. No shot. No. You think so?
I don't think he's worth that much money, especially now in his career.
Yes or no, Lakers make the playoffs?
They're at the 8th seed right now. I believe they're half a game above Utah. I don't want Utah in it. I think the Lakers are going to pick it up right before the end of the season. With these few games left, they're going to be in it. True or false? T.O. plays football this season in the NFL.
On a USC campus with Tom Brady throwing the old pigskin around. So I say false. I doubt it, but who knows with T.O.? You never know. And last one, true or false? Is Spencer the Best producer in the biz out there.
I'm going to tell you right now, there's no debate about it. I can't even tell you a close second. I can't tell you a close third. There's no one better. It's Spencer Pesce. You know,
Spencer, as much as I like to, you know, rag on you and see you all bent out of shape, I like to see you smile more. So I got to say you are the best in the biz. So I see you in there smiling right now. You know,
without him,
there's no
show.
It's going to be possible.
There's no show. There's no chemistry. He brings it all together.
So thank you. But that about wraps up our show here this week. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next week.
Catch you later if you give me a good pass.
Thank you, guys.